Right, the customer did run this out of fuel, which is maybe a good thing, so it all hasn't had chance to crystallize over 3 years and even causes more issues. But you might be wondering, well, where's the fuel tank? And look where it is. Don't you just love? Are you ready? Boom! Right next to the number plate. There it is. The good thing about Mercedes of this year is I know for a fact that there's hardened valve seats in here, so I know we're going to have absolutely no issues on putting unleaded fuel. You do need to know the car you're working on so you don't do something stupid as put the wrong fuel in and cause a lot of damage. Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. Yes, we are finally working on this W115 1971-72 Mercedes. Very famous story of this Mercedes. Slane Castle near Dublin, very famous music festival. This was the Hackney car back in the day to ferry all the famous magicians around. Also known as a Stroke 8. Anyone in the comments wants to tell me why the nickname of this is a Stroke 8? And we are going to get it up and working for the customer. Now, I've done a video before on basically explaining what we're going to be doing. There's a few vehicles we're working on. We're working on this, working on the Carburetor, and we're going to be working on this Imp. But in this video today, we're going to be on the Merc. Lots of things we need to do. I think the brakes are binding. We need to obviously service it, flush out all the radiators. The carburetor needs a lot of attention. There's pipes all taped up and there's all stuff around here. These connections are all dodgy and all sorts of stuff. So we're going to be working our way through everything, getting this up and working for the customer so he can obviously be driving it, doing what he needs to be doing. We've only got a few days here and then I might have to come back for another few days later on, but we're going to be getting, hopefully over the next few days, we're going to be getting this where he can at least drive it, you know, around the block and kind of, you know, keep it in working order, because it hasn't been driven for over 3 years. Right, guess how many seeds come out? Someone get the right answer, you'll get billions of seeds. Right, so we're going to work on this. All I've done is I poured some petrol in. The guy says it's completely run out of petrol. Like I said, in some ways that's a good thing. So hopefully there's been no petrol left in here. I can see a tiny bit there, which is, anyway. And, you know, because it means it hasn't crystallized. I'm not going to strip the carburetor yet because we haven't got all the repair kit here for it, but we will be rebuilding that. There's no point doing that until we get it all here. What I'm going to do is, I've got to put the other spark plug back in. I'm going to put some light oil, very small bit, into the engine before I try and crank it over. I'm going to take all the spark plugs off and then I'm going to crank it over and then put the spark plugs just to build some sort of oil pressure, make sure everything's kind of okay. Once we get it running, we will be servicing it then. Then I'm going to be doing the brakes, completely doing brake flush, new brake fluid, checking all the brakes, making sure they're not seized. Then rebuilding the carburetor and then essentially whatever else he wants me to do after that. So, he's disconnected the battery, even though it's got a quick connect on it. Oh, there's a bit of a draw there. Let's get some spanners and see what the story is. We also will be doing a full radiator flush as well. Obviously, we need to. But the first thing is get it started. And I don't know exactly what is done with the carb to whether it'll actually start or not. That's not on properly. This battery isn't out of this car, but it should be on good enough for what I need. So, just let me taking out the plugs. There's already one out. Put a bit of oil down. Put the plugs back in. Let me get that far, and then I'll turn the camera back on. Right, before I go any further,
I just want to make sure that all the leads are in the correct place, because number 4 was already taken off, and I don't know if they've been taken off, maybe put back wrong. It's always a good thing to check. Now, I wouldn't advise you pulling out all the plugs, or the lead plugs, if you don't know where they go, because then you can get confused. If you just take this one off here, for example, it's not going to spark, so it's not going to allow the engine to start. But we follow number 1. Number 1 is here. Now, the firing order, 1, 3, 4, 2. So, as the rotary arm goes round, 1, 3, this should be, which it is, and then 4, which it is, and then last one should be 2, which it is. So I know them leads are on the right way. Because again, you could be turning this, and if your leads aren't on right, it's never going to start, or it's going to backfire. You think you've got other issues. This now isn't going to start because I've got nothing on. When it does start, it's going to mostly be a bit smoky because I put a little bit of oil. Now, but we're not talking huge amounts because you don't want to hydrolock anything. But now I'm just going to turn it over, allow the fuel, or maybe the fuel, to get kind of up to the carburetor, but also just allow to build up a little bit of oil pressure before I actually come to start it. Right, I've got my jump pack on, and I got the battery on, and the battery does look in fairly good nick. It says 12.5 volts before I put my jump pack on. So we're just going to, like I said, turn this over. It's not going to start because I've disconnected it, but I just want maybe to see the oil pressure go up, or, you know, just something to kind of happen before I actually attempt to start this properly. There we go. Oil pressure's gone up. Right, that's a good sign. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a few more checks, make sure there's no fuel leaks. I'm going to just quickly check the oil again, and I'm going to do a few more things before I actually commit myself to starting this. Right, we can put this back on. Now, I don't know if that's actually working. Maybe there's an issue here. It could be a dodgy connection. Could be loads of things, but we'll just take it for granted at the minute that that is working, because we have to do all these checks anyway. We got fuel coming here, which is obviously brilliant, because that means it's at least sucking in fuel. The alternator's a bit dodgy. That's that, making sure there's nothing caught in between the wires or with the fan belt, make sure there's nothing slipped. There's no sign of any leaks, even though this is all leaking, but there isn't any signs of leak. I can see that there is fresh oil been put up there. Oil again looks terrible, but it's oil in there. We have to heat it up before we do a service anyway. Yeah, I mean, maybe not the worst oil I've ever seen, but not the best either. All looks good. I don't want to put anything in it first. I want to see if it starts under its own power without me adding easy start, or what's he been using here, carb cleaner. But again, carb cleaner is no harm to put through, just to clean it, obviously. But we're going to do a few old school ways. We're going to rev it up. We're going to put a hand over there. We are rebuilding this, but just for the minute, we're going to get other things done. Right, let's see what happens. That fuel tank is reading wrong, because it read half a tank. Now it's reading hardly any. Come on, baby, come on. She's trying. Oh, we're close. Blood in. She won't take the throttle. Boom! The exhaust is leaking, but it won't take the throttle. No, as soon as I press the throttle, she cuts out. But I'm not worried about that yet. Let's just get this heated up. not charging either. The alternator isn't charging. That's a shame. So we've got an alternator problem now as well. Just let me monitor this to make sure we've got no issues like major leaks or anything. We've got an alternator issue. We've got a blown exhaust, but we know that. But that is one job to do. So just let me monitor this and see. I want to let it heat up before I try the throttle again. Right, hopefully you can hear me over this. I found an issue. There is a loose wire, it's not even tightened, coming out the back of the alternator. So maybe it's just a case of tightening that and it's going to charge. So we're going to try that in a minute. It has been ticking over for 5 minutes. It is struggling. It's not overheating, but it doesn't want to take the revs. So what I'm going to, like I said, we are going to be completely rebuilding this. But for the minute, I want to see if I can kind of do something with it. So, an old-fashioned way, but it does kind of work. You need to rev it up, or try and rev it up. This might not, and cover this at the same time. So I need to. No, just made it worse. It does kind of work sometimes. Let's try again. Oh. It made it worse, which is a bit unusual, because normally it does make it a little bit better. That's putting fuel. I can actually see, I might not show it, but I can see vapours of fuel going in there. We've mostly flooded it now. I've just done that, thinking about it. Because these old systems, every time I basically I pump the throttle, I'm putting fuel into it. And now I've just done that too many times. Guarantee you, I've flooded it. Let's have a look. Well, it helped because it started. Will she take the rev? It is certainly better, but not 100%, but certainly better. So I'm just going to let this run for a bit longer. Well, actually, I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to tighten that 8mm bolt at the back of the alternator, and I want to see if it makes any difference, because it's not charging at all. So let me do that and then we'll see. just tightening the bolt. I took it off just to see, and you can see it is quite bad. So always good thing just to check, because if it is a bad connection and you just screw it back tight, and you might say, well, it's not working, so it's definitely the alternator, when it could just be a bad connection. So we're gonna clean all this, clean the bolts, clean the washers, clean the stud coming out, clean everything, because now, is it this? Don't know. Is it worth a try? Oh yeah. I don't know if the camera's going to get in here, but I'll try and get as much as I can. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. It's just the stud that's coming out. Just give it a good old fashioned clean. Now, put this back. Just like that. Washer. Net. Standing a bit Russian there. Ah, the engine's hot. Burning myself. Why didn't I see this when it was cold? What was that? Ah, the engine's hot. I just touched something there I shouldn't have done. Now, let me get this in without touching anything. If you're doing this, disconnect the battery, especially when you've got a quick release like that, Leon. Now, can't do anything. Oh, the engine's hot. Did I mention the engine's hot? Now, a little cover there. Put the cover back over. Well, for the minute, I just want to test it. What I have been doing, which seems to be helping matters. Put that down there. Screw that back on. Is I've been revving this and putting a bit of carb cleaner in it. I'll show you. See if it starts. It starts nice and easy, but it is warm. So what I've been doing is revving it and just squirting it in. Just like that. Because whatever crap is in there, it can just release, and it does seem to be revving up a hell of a lot better. Now, what I'm going to try and show you is, you can actually see the fuel going into the actual carb itself. Let me get the camera closer. Hopefully you can see this. Hopefully you saw that. So as you can see, it's certainly ticking over better now. It is warm as well, but it wasn't doing that before. It wasn't taking the throttle, because the guy told me. But now it's certainly better. Let's see if it's charging the battery. I'm going to quickly stick this on because it's got a little volt gauge on it. It's gone up a little bit, but no, 12.7, it's not charging the battery, unfortunately. But before we call it, we need to be 100% sure, but yeah, it's not doing it. I'm getting, hopefully you can see, I'm getting a new pipe here because that was all blue taped and it was terrible, so I've cut that off because I'm going to go and get new pipe. I'm getting a new fuel filter, and I'm also going to cut all these cable ties off and put proper connections on because I just, proper Juby clips, because I just don't like the way it's done. We're getting a new fan belt as well. Obviously going to be getting new thermostats, new water pump possibly. I've just put some engine or radiator flush in the radiator, so once I get all the fuel hoses back, we're going to flush everything out, put brand new antifreeze in. And yes, we're going to try and order as much stuff as we can. We're going to have to order some stuff from different parts of the world, just like everything, because it's an older car. And Ireland, it's quite difficult to get stuff for older cars. We need exhaust, we need all sorts for this. But we're going to order as much as we can over the next couple of days and get as much done as possible. Right, tested the alternator and there's just nothing coming out of it, so I'm taking that down to my alternator guy tomorrow. But what I've done is I've ordered a lot of stuff for the car, and we've got a few bits, new filters, new lines, new Jubilee clips. I'm still waiting on a few more Jubilee clips, but at least I can kind of get, you know, some of it kind of done. So we're going to put the filter. That is actually wrong, because it's this one. Okay, I noticed that. And then on this one, now it's a new filter on, and then we've got a new line for this here. Can that go all the way through, or do I have to take that off? Can I cheat? Can I cheat? No. Oh, I didn't think so. You're not going to go on there. Nope. Get some tools. Oh, you're going to play ball with me, are you? Or are you going to be awkward? Oh, there we go. We got it. Which is good. Now, feeding the wrong one back through. Does that give me enough room now? There we go. There we go. Now, there we go. Make it as neat as we can, because we might as well. There's anything I can do here. I don't like that. Don't bloody like it. What about if I go here? Make it a little bit longer. Cable tie it down there. It's still going to be there, that, but it's just, yeah, I prefer that. If I hit my fucking head on that any more times, man. A long way, so that is still. Oh yeah. It scared the shit out of me. I didn't know what it was. We're still on it, so I don't mind that. It sticks out all the way past here, so it's not going anywhere. I'm waiting on more Jubilee clips because they only had 3 in, and I needed 4. So when I collect all the service bits and everything tomorrow, I'll have the last one in. It's all cracked and everything. I mean, I was replacing it because I didn't like it anyway, but not only that lot. See, it was just more accidents waiting to happen. That I have to get a Jubilee clip for that tomorrow, but for the time being it's going to be good enough for what I need. And yet this is fuel pipe, it's not just normal pipe, it's fuel pipe. And there is a difference. Cup of tea. Now, I should be able to start this now. There's no fan belt on it, but it wasn't charging the battery anyway, so that's not really a big deal. It's been off for a good few hours, so it's cold. Well, it's not completely cold, but it's definitely, you know, there's no petrol in there, so it's going to take a second to get it up. But see how easy this starts. Did we do any good what we did with the carburetor, or is it just as bad? Hey, good stuff. Started lovely, that. Make sure there's no leaks. Some cable ties all down here. Cable ties here. Oh, right. The water pump isn't connected now. So I'm going to have to turn this off, put the water pump on. The fluid or the petrol has gone a funny colour because I've put some red X in it, so that's why it's kind of the reddy colour. And the petrol. So just start this again, let it heat up, let the radiator all circulate, and yeah, we're getting there. Just let all that work and circulate through. The brake pedal is sticking a bit, but I just want to see how does it drive with the carburetor. It's not 100%, obviously, and that brake sticking is annoying, but it certainly drives, and it didn't do before, as the guy told me. But the brakes are bad, but we knew that. Oh, it's better now. Hello. Oh yeah. Oh, even the second bit, a million times better. Right, we flushed it all out. Lucky enough there was a bung underneath, which I'll try and show you. You can see that bung there. That was handy. Cleaned it all out. Put a load of water through it, just normal water, just to clean all the crap out. We've now got some antifreeze and distilled water, so I'm just waiting now for it all to circulate to make sure it's okay. But I did find why I think the issue of the alternator coming loose, or the wire in the back actually coming loose. I'll slightly rev the car. Watch the alternator. It's vibrating like crazy. So that must be the reason why it's all worked its way loose. But we have to take it off and get it reconditioned anyway, so. Right, the end of day one. We've got the alternator out. It's quite oily down there, and we've got another oil leak down there. But we're going to get that reconditioned tomorrow, and then hopefully by the end of tomorrow that's going to be in, and we're going to check all the brakes out and hopefully unseize the brakes. The brake pedal is sticking, so I think we might have a problem with the cylinder. I don't know yet, but we're going to find out. But that's the end of day one. So as always, hope it helps. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below, but most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.